Welcome to San Diego, California for Major League Rugby. It is an absolutely gorgeous day to start here in America's finest city. It's the fourth match of the 2019 season for the homestanding San Diego Legion. And this afternoon, the Utah Warriors pay a visit to Torero Stadium. Nice to have you along, everyone, alongside the legendary rugby coach Pete Steinberg. I'm Steve Quiss, and boy, the Legion have an opportunity now to win their third consecutive game after losing their opener, and they may have a chance to take advantage against a Utah team that hasn't played much this year.
That's right. I spoke to the Utah coach, Alf Daniels, earlier today, and he said they're probably 2 games away from playing their best. But he's excited to match up against one of the top teams in the Legion today and see where they are.
Well, last week the Legion moved to 2-1 on the season, beating the Houston SaberCats. New squad members Joe Peterson and Patty Ryan are certainly making a clear difference. In the final moments last week, the Legion were trailing here when Nick Boyer is going to offload to J.P. Duplessis, who finds Peterson. Peterson on the run now, and to the left of him he's going to spot Nate Augsburger in the corner for the lead. Peterson with the wheels and the boot there to make it 2 victories in a row for the San Diego Legion. And it has been fun watching San Diego's new prop on the pitch. Stacey Pates has more.
The San Diego Legion have a strong pool of American players. They also wisely brought in some strength internationally, including Australian Patty Ryan. And Patty, when you think about the closeness of the games, especially there were 2 right here in San Diego when you protected home pitch, what can you say about the overall play of the MLR so far?
Yeah, I think it's a great competition. It's certainly one that's growing. I think it's exciting to see the level of competition amongst the American players, and I think there's a role to play for foreign guys coming in from other competitions as well to be able to share the experiences they've had overseas and try and boost the strength of the competition as a whole.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Stacey and Patty, thank you very much. Pete, let's look at the standings here as we play in week number 4.
Yeah, great opportunity here for the Legion to close the gap on NOLA Gold, but also create a bit of separation with Rugby United New York, the only team they lost to in their opener, and a heartbreaker here at Torero Stadium.
Couple of big opportunities against Utah today, who's played only once, and then Austin coming up, who's winless. When we return, the Legion face the Utah Warriors. San Diego looking to close the day 3-1 in Major League Rugby.
Right side flank is Chris Rory, open side flank is Devin Shaw, and your number 8 and entering the back row is Drew Gaffney. Scrum half of this afternoon's encounter is Nick Boyer.
Again, by Sharp Business Systems, transfer the day-to-day management of your network and print operations over to us.
In the number 13 jumper outside south, Gerard Aldman, making his comeback inside and line up on right wing Ryan Marios. And rounding out the back 3 in the fullback position, Mikey Teo. Our nation's colours today are flying.
San Diego Legion Major League Rugby brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America's finest city runs on Dunkin'. By Sharp Business Systems. Transfer the day-to-day management of your network and print operations over to us. And by Falcon West Insurance Brokers for all your auto, business, and home insurance needs. Yeah, we're back in San Diego here. No 3-hour tour for Gilligan and the skipper here. So far, the rain has stayed away. We are about to start between the 2-1 San Diego Legion, the 1-0 Utah Warriors. Time now for our starting lineups. They are brought to you by Dunkin'. San Diego Legion runs on Dunkin'.
Well, it's the return of Nathan Sylvia and Dean Muir at prop, joining Wallaby International Paddy Ryan. That's the big news. But look for Lou Stanfield and Kenny Nasagenge really to lead from the second row. They are the engine of this pack.
And for the Utah Warriors, who are 1-0. Actually, look at the backs first.
Yeah, and the big news in the back line is the return of 4 U.S. stars, Dylan Audsley, Nate Osberger, Mikey Teo, and Ryan Mattias. They are all coming back from various injuries. The first time they've been able to step onto the pitch together.
All right, now the Utah Warriors, Pete.
Well, you know, we don't know much about these guys. They've played one game, but look for Franco Vandenberg, the former South African U20, to lead from prop, and of course, U.S. All-American and U.S. Eagle John Cullen at number 8 is going to be a big impact.
And in their backs.
Yeah, and in their backs, it's the Josh Reeves, Brazilian fly half, first Major League Rugby game. Interested to see how his boot is useful for Utah. And then great news, the return of Josh Whippy at fullback, the first of the Whippy brothers to come back from a long-term injury for Utah.
Our referee will be Luke Rogan. He will call this one. Staying dry so far. Awesome. We were here a couple of weeks ago, man, and it was messy. We were thinking that it was going to be messy again today, and it might be by the time we get in the second half here, but we're hoping that the rain stays away on about a 54-degree day.
Well, you know, I spoke to a couple of the Legion players, and they said the last 3 games they've played at home has been in the rain, so I think they're used to it. I think we all hope the rain stays away. It makes it a much better game. And I think the Legion, I think Rob Hoadley, the Legion head coach, is going to want to see more consistency from his team today. They've shown in flashes really great stuff, but they have turned the ball over too often, and they've really struggled to score when given the opportunity.
About ready to kick this one off here from Torero Stadium on International Rugby Day. You can hear our official Luke Rogan. He is going to be mic'd for this game. Utah is in black, the Legion in red, and Joe Peterson kicks this one off. And a grab right there by Sai Uhila to start things here for Utah. Team, as you had mentioned, they're 1-0, but we certainly don't know much about what they're going to have. They usually have a lot of Polynesian flair, don't they?
They do, and they still have that, but I think it's going to be that player there, Josh Reeves, and his kicking game that's going to be important.
Drew Gaffney had the catch now, and it's kicked away. Peterson one more time, and fielded here by the fly half, Josh Reeves. We'll see a lot of him today. We also believe he'll be the kicker, too, for Utah. Again, we don't know a whole heck of a lot about the Warriors. Second season of Major League Rugby here, right to the halfway line. And it's dug out of there by Ian Luciano. And Luciano will throw it to the fly half, Josh Reeves. And now to the outside and a whistle.
Just a knock on there, just a little bit delayed. I think that it's going to be interesting to see this matchup out wide. Sione Laudy, one of the leading try scorers from last year's competition, just a bit too eager to get his hands on the ball. Just went a little bit too early, passed behind. If you try and catch the ball and the ball goes forward and it's accidental, then the referee says that's a scrum, an attacking opportunity here for the Legion in Utah's half.
And our very first scrum of this contest, Nick Boyer with the put-in coming here shortly. And so the Legion will try and exit a 4-game homestand with a 3rd consecutive win. They lost their opener against New York, and New York had a big win yesterday over NOLA, 27-24.
Let's have it again.
We listen in on our official Luke Rogan.
Going back and forth, yeah? Let's nice and settle before we call it in.
So the scrum's going to be really important. It's a great matchup with the experienced veteran Paddy Ryan against the young South African prop Franco Vandenberg. And early on, the referee just wants to take control of the scrum.
5, 6.
Taken by Nick Boyer. Throws it out right. Loose ball. Boyer had it. And now Boyer swings it out to the right side to Peterson. Peterson out on the far wing there. And a great little run. Ball kicked out of bounds. That run there by Ryan Mattias.
Ryan Mattias, such a dynamic player. You could see Mikey Teo and Ryan Mattias linking there. That's what we're going to see a lot. Two US players that played a lot of rugby together. Did a great job of being able to move that ball. And when he tried to pass it again, it just went a little bit forward. I think Rob Hoadley's going to look and want a little bit more patience. Those sort of turnovers have really hurt the Legion during the first 4 games of the season already, and we just want them to hold on to the ball, really build their phases and apply pressure to Utah.
So now we'll scrum on the far side, across from us, but right in front of a big crowd here at Torero Stadium on a delightful Sunday.
Set.
Oh, you could see right there, a little bit of an early push by the Legion. Let's listen to the referee.
Out here, so we're going to move in, fellas. Let's move in a little bit.
Just talking a little bit about the footing. So the footing, this ground's seen a lot of rain. You can see when the Legion come in, they just got that little movement forward. That's what you're not allowed to do. The referee wants an engagement where both sides come together and are stable. And he said, maybe that's just the ground. Let's move it and find the ground. And I think, Steve, that's going to be a lot here. This ground has seen a lot of rugby and a lot of rain. It's going to be interesting to see how it holds up under these scrums.
Almost 4 minutes into this match.
Great pressure there by the Legion, really putting a lot of pressure on Utah.
And a quick kick out of there. That bounces into Legion territory. And Mikey Teo, the brother of Manti Teo, the former San Diego Charger, Notre Dame product, gets it out to the halfway line. And then grabbed out of there by Boyer. We're going on the right side. And here's the outside center, Dylan Audsley.
Away now, 15.
And Boyer. And Boyer lost it.
Playing your advantage, Black.
Grabbed there by Timothy O'Malley, the inside center for Utah. And flung out of there by Luciano. And kicked away.
Again, a turnover by San Diego in an attacking position. Very disappointing, I think, for Rob Hoadley.
Drew Gaffney had it for a while, and this one coming right below us across the touchline off the boot of Mikey Teo.
You know, hit 2 opportunities they've had with ball in hand. You can see Boy, he sees the hole, but he's got to keep 2 hands on that ball. Nice hit coming in by
the missile, right?
Yeah, the missile. Missilanu coming in, knocking that ball off. But again, they had that momentum. They had that opportunity to go forward, but just weren't able to hold on to the ball.
I love the fact that you, as we await the line out here, I love how you can hear the official here and everything. And we were talking about the fact that a lot of these rules in rugby are set to interpretation, correct?
That's right, that's right. So we want to hear the referee because we want to hear how the referee is interpreting the law as he sees it. Part of the game is to play the referee.
Good run on the far side there by Utah, just outside the 22 now. They're on the attack. Last time against Seattle 2 games ago, a lot of possession for the Legion. And they didn't allow Seattle to have possession too much in that game. And right now, Utah's kind of surprised me with how much possession they've had in the early going here.
Well, yeah, and a little bit of a lack of patience there by San Diego. So when the tackle happens, everyone has to release. Only people on their feet can be involved, and they have to come, what we say, from their own side, which means that they have to come basically over the top of the ball. And right there, the referee said, players coming in for the side, that's a penalty option here. They can either kick for touch on the line out, or they're able to kick for points. A little bit near the sideline, so it's going to kick for the line out, and it's going to be a great attacking platform for Utah. And this was the problem. I mean, you talked about the Seattle game. This is the problem the Legion have, is they have possession, they have territory, but they make errors. And even though they've started this game very strongly, they now found themselves defending an attacking position for Utah.
See who they're going to go to. Lob it up there for Sai Uhila.
He's fine.
And a ball not moving the way that I think Utah wants it to.
No, great defense there by the Legion, preventing that go forward.
And here's a run by the inside center, Timothy O'Malley. And a turnover. You hear the officials say turnover good, and kicked out of there by Nick Boyer. Back to chase it down is the fly half, Josh Reeves, and then kicks it right back.
So interesting right there at the attacking platform. O'Malley takes it in, and you can see, I think that's Devon Short that comes in and just takes it right off him, is able to give the ball to Boyer, who clears it, and then Reeves, the first mistake in his Major League Rugby career, you cannot kick it directly out in open play unless you're behind your own 22. So the line out comes all the way where Reeves kicks, and it's a line out to San Diego.
And they get it right into Gaffney. Boy, Gaffney has played every minute of every match so far this season. That's 240 plus minutes and a whistle. Well, time for the Legion's key to the match, and it's brought to you by the Sharp Business Systems, official office solution partner of the San Diego Legion. And
it's interesting, the first one is retain ball in contact, because JP Duplessis, that's the third time they've lost the ball. They have had the edge so far in the set piece, and they've got to create some two-player tackles to prevent this big, strong Utah pack from generating go forward.
Crouch. Bind.
Great attacking platform, scrum in the middle of the pitch. Kick both ways, run both ways. Oh, let's hear what the referee has to say. So he talked right there, he said straight to ground. So what we're really looking for, I think it's going to be Paddy Ryan on the other side. You can see he just went straight to the ground, wasn't able to hold his feet. I think Paddy Ryan's going to say, hold on, Franco Vandenberg didn't take my hit. But, you know, we have to live with what the referee calls here. I'm sure Paddy Ryan has an opinion on it, Steve. Let's see, at the next scrum, I suspect he might have a little word with the referee.
You know, Stacey was talking to him earlier, and I really wasn't listening to what he was saying. I was more thinking, boy, I'd love to go to Bennigan's and grab a few beers with that guy and just kind of pick his brain on everything. Logan Daniels on the line out, throws it in, and going up high to grab it there was Matt Jensen. Now on the attack, running through is Josh Reeves. Reeves taken down. Now it goes to Angus McClellan, just outside the 22. Got a run here by Franco Vandenberg. First time they called him.
Let him go, tackle!
Tackle is called. And grabbing it out of there is Luciano, and a whistle.
Lost forward, fellas.
So again, a knock forward, so it got stuck. So the law states that if a tackler goes to ground, you have to release and let him play. And a tackler going to ground is putting his knee on the ground. So Franco Vandenberg was able to fight and put his knee on the ground. We heard the referee say release. They released him, and then as he went down, he dropped the ball. So it's a bit of a scrappy game right now, Steve. Not a lot of ball retention in contact, and that means there's a lot more scrums than people want.
Yeah, a lot more scrums than I thought here, and Nick Boyer ready for the put-in.
Fellas, we spoke about the head-on-head stuff early. Let's not have it, yeah? Everyone gets their own space. Your head's right up against him. Everyone gets their own space, yeah? Both sides. Both sides. Let's go.
Great, you know, this is why it's so great to have the referee. So what the referee is saying is that they're actually using their heads before the engagement to try and get an advantage. Because in that first engage, what you want to do, if you're the tight head, is you want to control the loose head, which is Franco Vandenberg. Paddy Ryan wants to control Franco Vandenberg's head to make sure he gets into a strong position.
Boyer with a put-in. Grabbed right out of there by Gaffney. And starting the attack here, a run by Boyer, and Boyer getting up toward the halfway line. Still in Legion territory now. And Peterson offloads it, and our first touch, I'd say, of Kenny Nasageke.
Stay.
And kicked out of there quickly by Boyer.
Yeah, poor kick there. Again, they had a lot of really good go forward, but if your 9 is going to run from the scrum and then your 9 is going to be tackled, if that's your play, then you know that your 9 can't pass the ball from the base. So once Boyer was tackled, that slowed everything down. Nasagenge wasn't able to get onto the front foot, and then a poor kick there from Boyer that gives Utah a good attacking platform on this line out.
Line out across from us. Get in front of the big crowd and going up high to grab it right there was Matt Jensen. Possession here for Utah. They're in black. The Legion are in red today. And there is Vandenberg moving forward. near the 10-meter line. And they're running to the outside. And that's Josh Whippy. And Whippy is taken down.
High.
And a little tap kick by Luciano. And to the right side, running with it is O'Malley. They get it off now to McClellan. And they try and fight forward toward the 5-meter line. And to the outside it goes. Reeves had it, and Reeves is tackled and brought down by Lou Stanfield.
Just a little flat here right now from Utah. Tough to get go forward because they can't get any momentum with their ball in their hand.
Tackle, roll.
Just inside the 22 now. And a touch here by Lance Williams, the left flanker. He's inside the 22. Now gets it off here for Luciano. Luciano moves it right to Matt Jensen. Here is Logan Daniels, the hooker.
4, no, 4 away.
And he's drilled there by Lou Stanfield.
That's fine, play on.
And a turnover. Teo gets it out, gets it off to Peterson, and Peterson moving the run right, fakes the kick, and Peterson has some open real estate in front of him before he's finally brought down. And it's out. Legion have it. And Chris Torrey.
Stay. Playing advantage, 6 offside.
Teo to the outside, and now an opportunity to run here. Nate Augsburger, we saw him with the game-winning try the other day, right? Against Houston, the Sabercats. Oh, Stacy, let's check in with Stacy. Stace?
Number 6.
Going to be a force to be reckoned with is number 10. He's the fly half for Utah, and he's excited to play San Diego because of his opposite number 10 in Joe Peterson. As we all know, watching San Diego Legion games, Joe's been instrumental in a few of those wins here. And Josh says, man, I was so looking forward to playing against Joe Peterson because he's going to cause me to lift my game up.
Thank you, Stacy. Dean Muir here, 2017 Western Providence Curie Cup champion. On the line out. And it's grabbed here by Muir. Trying to move his way right to the halfway line. Somebody's got to grab got a big hold of his jersey there. He gets into Utah territory.
This is a great platform. They should be able to really attack here. They should look to come to the blind side. They've got Nate Augsburger on his own, but they kick it.
Yep, Boyer kicks it away, and it's going to be fielded here by Lauti.
They just had the scrum half on the blind side, so if Nate Boyer had come, they'd have created that 2-on-1, and Nate Augsburger is just such a great attacking player with that space in front of him. Disappointing kick by Boyer. That's 2 disappointing kicks early on in this game.
Was that Lauti calling the mark?
That was Lauti calling the mark.
Yep, and he'll kick it away.
And of course, you know, let's explain what a mark is, right? So if you're inside the 22 and the opposition kicks you the ball and you actually have to shout, Steve, you have to shout mark as you're catching it, it's a free kick. That allows you to clear your lines. Not a great kick. I think the wind's picking up a little bit. The clouds are coming in, but great attacking platform. All we need to do for the Legion is hold on to the ball and be effective.
Yep, and marks like a free kick if you watch American football, or fair catch rather than American football. I've already seen one of the Legion players that's got some blood.
They're really doing a good job of setting this platform where they control the ball and can control the drive.
Kenny Nasaginge has it. And he will get it off to Boyer. Boyer takes it, flings it out to the middle of the field. And the ball is on the pitch.
There it is. No.
And loose, trying to grab it is Boyer, and Boyer has it. And Boyer gets it to Gaffney. Gaffney down, Boyer digs it out. Nasaginge falling right on top of his own man and allowing Boyer to get it out and offload it right. Boy, territory is awfully hard to gain in this game. And Utah's defense, I think, has been a little bit better than we thought here.
Absolutely, they're really causing some problems, but it's out wide like there by JP Duplessis. I think when they get it wide, I think Utah have some problems shutting down this attack.
Duplessis got it within the 22, and now it stands right on the 22, and flung out of there by Boyer.
No.
And Boyer Swings it right. They'll try it out far side for Stanfill. And Boyer now out to Augsburger, throwing it right, and racing with it is Duplessis in for the try.
Well, as we said, if they're able to move it wide, they can really cause some problems. And the first time in the whole game that San Diego were able to retain possession for multiple phases, they moved the ball from the right all the way to the left, all the way to the right. And when you hold on to the ball that long, you can find holes. So Lou Stanfill takes it in. Great clear out there by Paddy Ryan. The ball is quick. Osberger to Teo. Out to Gaffney. Gaffney on the inside pass to Duplessis. Duplessis steps Loudy and scores a wonderful try. But that, Steve, all comes from the fact that finally San Diego were able to hold on to the ball. They weren't throwing it away and they weren't losing it in contact.
So Peterson now setting up to try and convert here from the right side from the 22 line. We saw Peterson a couple of games ago against Seattle get knocked pretty good in the head and was out for the remainder of the match. Good to see him back and going. To make it 7-0. And it is over. And it is 7-0.
Joe, have a drink.
We're going to take a quick break. When we return, the San Diego Legion with a 7-0 lead over Utah will continue here on International Rugby Day from Torero Stadium in San Diego. Welcome back to San Diego. We had our first try of the game, our first points. It is 7-0. JP Duplessis here in the 18th minute with the try and then the convert by the kicker Peterson, and it's 7-0 and a tremendous start for the San Diego Legion.
Well, I mean, I think that they've had the advantage. They've had over 65% of the possession, but their turnovers have hurt them. And I know that's been a focus for the Legion with Rob Hoadley. And they showed what their outside backs can do. You saw Nate Osberger, you saw Mikey Teo, the two players coming back, US players, recently coming back from injury, being able to open up the Utah defense. But to be fair to Utah, they made them work.
Yep.
I mean, that must have been 10, 12 phases they were holding on. You just can't hold on for that long. And I think that that'll be the message during that break, I think, from the coaching staff. If we hold on to the ball, we can break this Utah defense.
Josh Reeves will kick here for the Utah Warriors. Boy, it looks as if the skies are getting a little more dangerous. We might get some rain here, so it's probably pretty important here to get off to a good start, just in case the elements, as Teo grabs it at the 22 line and gets it out.
7, no! Step back!
And dug out of there, of course, by Boyer.
2 back, offside.
And an offside against Utah.
So great call, I think, there by Luke Rogan, the referee. At the ruck, when a tackle happens or ruck forms, the defense has to be behind the back foot. That's important for the attack, because if they edge up, which is what happens over during a game, it takes away the space to attack and it can take away the flow of the game. So nice to see Luke Rogan calling that on Dean Muir. Great that he called out the individual player too.
Good little kick by Peterson there to get it into Utah territory now, across the touchline. And it will be Muir who will toss it in here on the line out. And skying up high to get it is Gaffney. And here they go on the attack again. And my favorite guy, number 5, Kenny, huh?
Keep going,
Nasa Ginge. And now into the hands of Stanfill. He's got a good resume.
Yeah, and those are the 2 second rows that really create such a drive for this team.
And quickly kicked by Dylan Audsley. And possession now to Utah. And we'll see if this thing will get across the touchline. It won't. And Peterson has it, trying to get it to himself there, chasing his own kick, and a whistle.
Well, that's the thing that Joe Peterson has shown us throughout the season, the ability to be able to do some of these different things that we don't normally see in the American game. And so he looks up and he sees some space just on the other side of the defense. It's a little pop kick, and if he can get hold of that, that's a try. And that's one of the little bits of skills that he brings. Wasn't quite able to hold on to it, so it's a chance for a Utah scrum. Obviously one of the early stars of the Major League Rugby season.
Yeah, he's the 4th leading scorer in Major League Rugby. 25 points through 4 games, and the resume is pretty incredible as they look at a banged-up Legion player here. But you got 50 caps for Super Rugby Stormers, played professionally in 4 countries, Japan, France, South Africa, and USA. Of course, we're talking about Joe Peterson, the captain. The vice-captain today, Patty Ryan. 2 new additions that we spoke of in the Open that made the Legion an outstanding team to start.
Well, I think Joe Peterson actually was able to play a couple of games last year. He came in a little bit late just to get his feet wet, but this is his first season at fly half. And this scrum's going to be really interesting. Paddy Ryan, I think, is really going to take it to Vandenberg.
Put in by Utah. Luciano grabs it, and another whistle. Coming away with it, and there was Boyer. Capelli Pifoletti is in now for the injured Legion player.
So I think that right there what happened is in the scrum, I think they took it to him. And Paddy, I think Paddy Ryan said, hey, we're going to take it to them. And instead of accepting the drive, what the referee said was that the Warriors wheeled. Instead of accepting the drive, they began to turn. And when you turn like that, that doesn't allow the other team to go forward. So it's a penalty. Choices here, interesting choice. I was thinking that maybe they would put it into the corner for the line out, but Joe Peterson has obviously said, I got my kicking boots, let's get a double-digit lead.
From the left side here, outside the 22, the penalty kick worth 3 points if he can get it. Chris Terori just left, the left flanker. And that's why Pifoletti came in. Capelli, not the brother, Faca. And here's Peterson to try and make it a 10-0 game. Man, you can't do it any better than that. I think that's why you see in the NFL a lot of rugby guys from Australia come up and play for a long time in the NFL. That's a brilliant kick.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a beautiful strike. And you know it's a good kicker when it seems so easy. But the best thing is when that kick happened, Peterson kicked it, turned, didn't even see where it went. He just knew it was a beautiful kick.
The walk-off,
and it's 10 points up, yeah.
Well, that makes it 10-0. San Diego's played some really tight games as Gaffney goes up to get this one. So I'm not sure if they've had a 10-point advantage throughout the year yet in the first 3+ matches. They'll enjoy this. And off to that good start. A kick by Boyer. And it's fielded by Josh Whippy.
Great take.
Onto the outside. Dug out of there by Luciano. Offloads it into the outside. Moving is Tim O'Malley. Now into the hands of the outside center. The missile. And the missile takes it inside the 22. Being held up there.
So when the ball got taken in, you could hear the referee shout maul. As soon as a maul is formed, when it collapses, there's no more law that says you have to roll away. And the Legion did a great job when that maul collapsed of just lying on top of the ball, because the attacking team loses the ball when a maul goes down. So I think this is one of these sort of complex things. You can see the Legion player just right there saying, hey, it's a maul, I don't have to roll away. I'm not going to let the Utah get it. But this all comes back from what was not a great kick by Nick Boyer that gave great take by Josh Whippy, gave him this attacking position. So while the Legion have had the edge in possession. The Warriors have had the edge in territory. They find themselves again inside the Legion's half.
Good. I'm just that angle. Let's get it straight for me, yes?
Oh, referee talking to Paddy Ryan again, saying, hey, it'll look good. I want to see you go straight.
Stay straight.
I'm not sure that Paddy Ryan's so happy that the referee is talking to him as much.
Boyer for the put in here in the scrum. We've had many scrum here in the game's first 25 minutes.
That was my fault. That was my fault. That was my fault. Yeah, no, that was my fault.
Interesting to hear the referee says it's his fault.
That's why we went.
And what he's talking about is the referee calls the cadence. So he actually tells the teams when they have to come together, and if he gets that timing a little bit wrong, it puts the teams off their timing. So he was saying, hey, I called it a little bit late. That's why that happened.
By the way, we played 2 40-minute halves here as we have passed 25 minutes here in the first half.
Set.
And Boyer puts it in. And taken by the Legion. A run by Duplessis, who had the try, the game's only try so far.
Use it.
And now Peterson will kick it away across the touchline. Will it get there? Yeah, it will. Well, they're gonna let him play on here. No?
Well, this is where the team of 3, the referee and the assistant referee together, need to work. And it looked like Derek Summers, the assistant referee, put his flag up and then his flag came back down. So I think that was the confusion. So I think they had to bring it back when the flag came up.
Logan Daniels is going to throw it in here on the line out. And going up to try and get it would be Jensen. Now they play it out to the outside. And it is Lauti. Lauti trying to find some position. It's brought down. Luciano. Big hit taken there by McCullen. And they'll work it to the left side. Lance Williams, wearing number 6.
Away now.
And now to the far outside. Whitby. That's Blake Burdette who's in there, wearing number 16. Right to the 22 line. Nice tackle there by Augsburger. And a run by McClellan. McClellan trying to get to that 22 line. Whippy. He got grabbed from behind there by Paddy Ryan and brought down.
Strong defense here by the Legion, but they just have to be patient and not give away a up. There we go.
Stay up.
Great defense for such a long time, but also great ball retention by Utah. Very, very kickable kick here. Utah should take these 3 points.
Yep, straight away on the penalty kick. Now, there is an injured player just below us.
I think it's Nate Augsburger who's down.
Yep, he's yet to get up. He's got a little bit of a bottle of water there, you see there on his knee.
Interesting that the referee would stop for this. Normally they don't stop if there's a penalty.
Let's check in with Stacy. Stacy?
Steve, the early indications, just by my vantage point, nothing has been officially told to me yet, but the first thing Nate Augsburger did was grab his head. He may have taken a slight knock to the head, and we all know how important it is that they do the proper run through with him to make sure his vision is fine, he's not in too much pain, he's not having double vision. They have their core degrees of what they do to go through to make sure it's not a head injury. Again, that's not official, that's just my eyes seeing him grab his head. The great news right now is he's running back to join his teammates, and you remember the last game that he played, this is his first start of the season because he was coming off of injury, and the last game he played, it was his try that got them the victory over Houston. So definitely grateful that he is back with his team right now. It seems that it was not anything severe.
Well, Stacey, the replay certainly showed that his head got hit. He put his head in front, as we say, as opposed to putting his head behind, but good to see him back out.
Yeah, the missile got him with a right knee. That was a heat-seeking missile right there to the back of his head. All right, from the 22, The kick is up, and it is through. And that is Tim O'Malley. Earlier, Josh Reeves had been their kicker, but O'Malley takes that one straight away, and Utah is on the board first.
Well, O'Malley from New Zealand plays both fly half and inside center, so they get to play two playmakers, and it looks like Reeves is going to be kicking out of the hand, and O'Malley will be the place kicker.
So first points of the game for the Utah Warriors, and that's going to be across the touchline, trying to save it from going out. Was short.
Fellas.
So great kick there and great pressure by the Legion on Matt Jensen, created the knock on, and this is what you need. In fact, kickoffs are such a great momentum changer. I think that so it really gives the Legion a chance to attack from there.
Let's see the heat-seeking missile.
Yeah,
watch the right knee.
So what you can see is he puts his head in front, and you know, one of the things you'll hear a lot is that American football is teaching rugby tackling, and what they do is they teach you to put your head behind and not in front, and so what we say is actually cheek to cheek. So it's your cheek to their butt cheek, and that's the safer way to tackle.
I'm really surprised that Augsburger actually got up and is able to play on, and a near turnover and a whistle right there at the halfway line.
So nice little play there. So they often play the Legion, they'll play Duplessis at first receiver, they'll have Peterson wrap around, and they brought Augsburger in from the blind side wing, quite a complex play. And Mislinano was able to read that, and he almost got it. He was almost able to do it. So you can see the ball comes out to Duplessis first. Okay, you can see Peterson coming round, Augsburger right there, just a really good read by the missile, and no penalty. Often you'll see if there's a one-handed knock on as an interception, it's a penalty, but because he tried to knock it up and he was making a genuine attempt to catch it, no penalty, just a knock on. Great attacking platform here for the Legion.
Another scrum right in midfield, and another whistle.
Yeah, referee's talking over there. Just let's see what he says. Oh, right there he said to Franco Vandenberg, he's got to keep his bind up. So referees at scrum time look for two things. They look for square hips, making sure props are moving forward, and they look for high binds. And the bind is when you bring your hand over and making sure your elbow is not pointing down, so you pull everything down. And that's what he's looking for here. So we'll be able to see on this side with McClellan and Sylvia, you'll be able to see, yeah, you'll be able to see right there. You can see the shoulders come up, and as long as they keep their shoulders up, they'll be okay.
We hear the guys barking at each other right now.
Yeah, it's the referee's going to have to do something from this side. You can see it's the other side that goes down. It's that experience between Paddy Ryan and the young athleticism of Vandenberg really showing up here.
And meantime, the clock continues to roll. We're past 31 minutes here in this first half. Again, we play two 40-minute halves here in Major League Rugby. And it looks like the umbrellas are starting to come out here, and we're going to get some precipitation and some wind. So the style of play might change a little bit here moving forward.
Put it in, 9.
That's exactly what Boyer does. He puts it in, and here comes the Legion in red on the attack. That was Duplessis. Te'au going after that one. And that time pulled out by Augsburger. Gets it ahead to short.
No fall.
And here's Muir. Muir fighting for every inch.
So the referee will tell you if you're doing something wrong. And so Franco Vandenberg there, the referee said release, release, but he felt like he got his hands on the ball. And afterwards, the referee, he said, you'll hear this word, clear release, which means that if you're the tackler or the tackle assist, you have to completely let go of the tackled player before you can come in.
Looks like Peterson's here chosen a penalty kick straight away.
Well, I think it gets it up to about 10 points. As you said, Steve, with the rain coming in, points are going to be key. And again, when the Legion were able to hold on to the ball, get into their pattern, they were able to put some pressure on Utah, and Utah were able to give away.
Now this thing's into the wind here.
The boots are slipping up, let's come up, yeah? Water off, fellas.
Paddy Ryan talking with our official Luke Rogan.
I think he's getting a little opportunity to give Luke his view of what's happening at scrum time.
All right, Peterson here, trying to make his second penalty kick of this first half. Straight away into the wind. And nicely done again. Man, the guy is automatic.
Yeah, he has a beautiful strike, and it's just so easy, and that's well within his range. Even into the wind, I think he can take that from the halfway. And that says to Utah, we can't be giving away these penalties. We have to have a little bit more patience. I think for Utah, what they need is a little bit more line speed, get up in the face of the Legion. That's how you're going to turn the ball over. But this kickoff, we said kickoffs have been really important. The Legion have struggled to get out of their half. Getting this kickoff cleanly and getting out of here is going to be important at the end of the half.
Second 10-point advantage of the match here for the Legion, and Augsburger fields it and has some territory in front of him as he cuts back across the halfway line and is finally wrestled down by 2 Utah Warrior players, and it's quickly sent out of there by Boyer, and they try to go on the attack again. Peterson got tackled, kicked it off, and it's across the touchline on the far side.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful footwork by Augsburger there. Went right through the middle of the Utah kick chase, and then the transfer outside of that from Boyer to Duplessis wasn't great, and they lost that opportunity. The kick, in all of that, they gained the territory they got out of their half, but I think they'll be a little bit disappointed.
It's going to be a line out here for Utah, who's in black, and they're trying to get it up there for Matt Jensen.
It's going forward off a blue hand, then off a red, sorry, black hand, then off a red.
So great pressure there. So the Legion in the line-out have a number of line-out jumpers. They have Gaffney, they have Short, they have Stanfill. When you have that number, it becomes very difficult for Utah to find some space. So they're really able to apply a lot of pressure at the line-out and be able to turn that ball over. A wonderful attacking platform here. It looks like Ryan Mattias is standing right behind the scrum, trying to work out which way he's going to go. And I think they may go with what we say the wheel of the scrum. So if the scrum wheels right shoulder forward, he'll go to the right. If it goes left shoulder forward, he'll come to the left.
They just cannot get one of these scrums off in a timely manner.
Yeah, lots of what we call resets. And this is where the referee is going to be pinged at the end, because you can't have this number of resets. He needs to start calling some penalties. I think the challenge is, I think both sides are playing some games here, and it's hard for him to work out which one he's actually going to penalize when every scrum is different.
And that's why I think we saw Patty Ryan, right, talking to the official before Peterson's last penalty kick about what they're going to do when they get into these scrum situations here moving forward. Boyer for the put-in. Gets it into the middle of the scrum. Boyer finds it and then is able to offload it out left.
Move 10.
He's got it again, and a quick little switch there, and it is Pipoletti, and they'll move it to the left side now for Audsley.
Turnover's good, ball was up.
And a turnover right at the 22 line going in, and across the touchline goes the pile.
Well, Audsley would just, I think that it was Whippy, just took the ball right off his hands. Again, this is what they can't do. They need to be able to hold on to the ball. They had a nice transfer. You can see Whippy comes in. Actually, to be fair to Audsley, his knee was on the ground. If his knee's on the ground, the tackle's being completed. Referee said it was fair. Referee obviously couldn't see the knee on the ground.
Let's sort it out, fellas.
Line out. Do they go here to Gaffney? Let's see. Yeah, they're trying to get it to Gaffney, but instead get it into... Is that Patty Ryan in there?
He does everything, even in the lineout.
He does. My goodness. Devin Short. Short gets it back. Peterson. Peterson trying to weave through traffic here and get a few defenders off of him, but he got grabbed from behind, brought down by Lance Williams. And ahead is Patty Ryan inside the 22 line. Now the ball is down at the 22. And they get it to Pifoletti. Pifoletti, remember, came in for Rory. Ball right there in the middle of the field, inside the 22, in the middle of the pitch. And a good tackle made there initially by McClellan, stopping the progress. Here they come on the outside, a chance for another try, and it's in. How about Devin Short? That's 2 tries in the first half here for the Legion.
Well, I think it's really the work of front row forwards. Paddy Ryan, all the way over to the left, was the one that got the go forward. In rugby, once you get go forward, you can play quickly. And so Paddy Ryan generated that go forward, and then Pifaletti kept that go forward going again, and that's
what
what created the space that went wide. So Duplessis right here, nice footwork coming in. You can see good support there by Nasagenge, and then again, beautiful timing. You could see Joe Peterson with the assist, but he took the hit from Vanikolo as the ball went wide. So you can look, you want to hold on to the ball until you're committed. Vanikolo came in, made the hit, and that was just the space that Devon Short needed to get into the corner.
Gets it just after we passed the 38th minute, so a key try there near the end of the half. And right from the far side now, right almost on that touchline right there, this is going to be a difficult kick for Peterson, or will it?
Well, I think it's a difficult kick. He's a right-footed kicker, but the way he's been striking this, I'm not sure that I would bet against him.
To make it 20-3, closing in on the end of the first half. And it's no good. Yep. Boy, that's tough from out there.
Well, so I think one of the things we might be seeing here with Utah is they played one game and then they had 2 bye weeks, and you can't train to play. So what we have is the Legion that have played all their games. You were talking about Gaffney playing all the minutes. These guys are battle hardened, and they have what we call match fitness. Utah don't have that match fitness, and you see that in the last 5 and 10 minutes of each half. And I think that's what happened in that defense, is that Utah just ran out of gas. Great play by Legion taking advantage to score.
And they'll likely have to fight the elements when we come back for the second 40 minutes as well, with the rain and wind coming. Teo with the take to his own 22. Just beyond, I think he might have taken a hit to the noggin. He's slow to get up. And a run here by Pifaletti. Pifaletti near midfield. Pifaletti leaves it now for Stanfill, and Stanfill right to the halfway line. And Kenny Nasagenge, and he lost it, and a whistle.
And you can see, I think, just some exhaustion there by Utah, making it really difficult. Just great, forceful run forward by San Diego.
Yep, and they call halftime right here on that end run. So a good first half for San Diego. They put 15 points between them and the Utah Warriors as we head to the break. 18-3, our halftime festivities on Major League Rugby. We'll continue right after this from Torero Stadium in San Diego.
Here you go, babe.
Hi, Stacey. How you doing? You all right?
Thank you. Oh, sorry. This side. One, two, three. Hello, hello. 18-3 at halftime, but in this league, no lead advantage is good enough because of the competition. In what ways have you done things effectively that you decided on prior to the game?
Well, we just needed to hold on to the ball after last week. I think we left it so late against Houston. And to be honest, in the first 20 minutes there, we actually gave the ball away 4 times very, very cheaply. We started to hold on to the ball at the end of the half. We're winning collisions, we're winning the gain line, and we can see the rewards that we can get. Going to be a different game now in the rain, so slightly different. We're going to have to tighten up, play a bit of field position, but still looking at that ball control in attack.
Can't thank you enough. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Stacey. Enjoy.
Thanks, babe.
All right, champion.
18-3 at halftime, but in this league, no lead advantage is good enough because of the competition. In what ways have you done things effectively that you decided on prior to the game?
Well, we just needed to hold on to the ball after last week. I think we left it so late against Houston. And to be honest, in the first 20 minutes there, we actually gave the ball away 4 times very, very cheaply. We started to hold on to the ball at the end of the half. We're winning collisions, we're winning the gain line, and we can see the rewards that we can get. Going to be a different game now in the rain, so slightly different. We're going to have to tighten up, play a bit of field position, but still looking at that ball control in attack.
Can't thank you enough. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Stacey. Enjoy.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. And Stacey, well, we told you the Legion, they are 2-1 after the first 3 weeks of the season. This is their 4th home game before they go out on the road to Austin next week. They had quite a battle last week against the Houston SaberCats, and let's take a look back on last week's big win to get this Legion team to 2-1.
Major League Rugby under the lights on a Saturday night. Here we are at Torero Stadium. It's beautiful rugby conditions here tonight in Southern California, and we are in for an epic battle between these two teams.
The home team, San Diego Legion, they want their 2nd consecutive win on their home field to protect that. Then you have Houston, who lost here a season ago, wanting to change things up, and this is going to go down to the wire because both of these teams want it so badly.
And now Peterson again. Snap down the ankles to Boala. He's dangerous. He's exciting. He beats 2 already. And 3. Easy take. And straight through, and a lovely pass to the outside as well. Duplessis had a wonderful game last week. He was everywhere. Quick ball. Boyer. Peterson. Finally getting San Diego on the board. It's 10 points to 3 in favor of the visiting team, the Houston SaberCats. Forwards, he's going for the line. Will he get there? Oh, try-saving effort by 2 defenders. And I think it was Boyer that finally got him over the sideline.
You gotta score at some point. You gotta put a try on the board. It's a 10-point deficit.
The Legion, they can sense it. Release the crowd, they can sense it, willing on their home Peterson team. To Augsburger, beautiful feet from him. Nasingenge for the line. He's over, he's over. The Legion have done it finally, and the crowd go wild.
Right now, San Diego down by 3, but they've got confidence. You can tell they have this belief that if they just get another touch, that they can do something positive with it.
Well, you can cut the tension with a knife here. Crowd are on their feet. 3 minutes to go. Can the Legion do it? The Legion with a chance.
Good job by Chris Terrori to keep that ball in the scrum. And there goes
Peterson again. He dummies. He gets it out to Augsburger, and he'll score just like that. Look at the Legion. They're back, and they're on top. And that's the game. The Legion, they've done it in the most spectacular fashion.
Twice now on this ground, Houston is going to leave with a heartache.
San Diego Legion Major League Rugby is brought to you by Nelson Securities, committed to helping you improve your long-term financial success. By Lux Travel Management, official travel agency of the San Diego Legion, travel done right. And by FPI Management. Find your next home at FPILiving.com. FPI Management, culture grounded in heart. Back in San Diego, terrific start here for the Legion early on.
Yeah, I mean, it took about 18 minutes for them to be able to hold on to the ball, but the U.S. stars, Teo and Osborg, were able to move the ball wide. Duplessis stepping inside. Peterson had his kicking boots on all day. Returned by Utah and O'Malley. They turned some pressure into a penalty, some points, but then it was all San Diego as we got the end of the second half. Peterson's long kick, and then Osberger showing what these returning USA stars can do. Some great footwork, being able to play out of the half and using that momentum, allow Duplessis go forward. There was a great clean out. Again, being able to move the ball wide. Peterson timing it perfectly, putting Devonshore over into the corner.
2 first-half tries for the San Diego Legion. A couple of penalty kicks as well. They've got a 15-point lead as we get ready to start the second half.
Yes, it's the lady that was, I think she's with your group. She was with the polka dots. Yep.
Well, the two teams are coming back onto the field right now here at Torero Stadium, where all of a sudden the rain is starting to fall. I mean, lightly, not like 2 weeks ago against Seattle, where we're playing in, you know, all these puddles and everything. But I'll ask you, Peter, what sort of effect might that have on this game moving forward? And is a 15-point lead in elements such as this big enough?
Well, I mean, it definitely makes the game more difficult to play on attack. The ball gets wet and it actually gets slippy, so we'll see the teams knocking the ball on a little bit more in contact. But I think this game's really going to be taken by the players that come off the bench. And for the Legion, we're excited to see Sam Wuching come in, the former linebacker from the University of Washington, and we already have one of the Pifoletti brothers who's come on. For Utah, the big name is Blake Burdette. He's a player that I coached. He played in the 2007 World Cup for the Eagles, and he's back out here on the field. It'll be great to see him on the pitch. He'll be playing against his former Eagle teammate against Lou Stanfield.
Utah in black to kick this one off, and it went off of the boot of Josh Reeves. Fielded by the Legion.
Use it!
And they'll try to go to work here deep in their own territory. Grabbed quickly and kicked out of there by Boyer. And kicking it right back. You see this quite a bit, don't you? Kicking back and forth, kind of ping-ponging with each other in weather like this, right?
Absolutely, because there'll be turnovers in contact. You'll see people want to play territory much more than they want to play possession.
That one's kicked away by Reeves and fielded right by the right winger, Ryan Mattias. Utah has it. And a run forward by Matt Jensen. Jensen's an American. And they'll try the right side. The right side was so successful moving this way, for the Legion in the first half. Both their tries were out that way to the corner. See if it'll work for Utah.
Big test here for the Legion early on. No penalties, just let their defensive wall hold Utah until they make a mistake in the rain.
Luciano was trying it and got driven back. And here is Jensen.
Away now,
Jensen brought down by Stanfield. And Luciano unloads it to Reeves. Back here it goes to Vani Colo. Stayed right on the line, and Teo grabs it on the line out. And we have a timeout here.
So you saw the assistant referee put his hand out. He said that meant he saw some foul play. So he's going to come over and talk to the assistant referee and the referee. Let's see what they say.
Penalty only, just a penalty. Number 12, red. Number 12.
So he said, no attempt to use the arms. One of the ways that tackling is safe in rugby is you have to wrap. And
no attempt to wrap the arms.
Derek Summers, the assistant referee, said no attempt And the question was penalty only, because it could be a yellow card, and he said yes, penalty only on Duplessis. Great attacking. What I said was no penalties for San Diego, but they've given one away, and they've given Utah early on in this half. This is what they want. A kick to touch and an attacking line out. That's a great opportunity for them to get the first points in the half.
Yep, and they'll kick it down and try and get toward the 5-meter line. And so a wonderful opportunity now here for Utah.
Yeah, great kick there by Josh Reeves. That's why he's here. Beautiful attacking line-out opportunity. But again, we've said San Diego have had some opportunities to attack the line-out, and they do it right there, and they're able to turn it over.
Away 1, no, 6. Step back 4, no.
And kicking it out of the try zone is Peterson.
Great kick under pressure. So even though you're giving the ball back, you're saying, hey, you had a 5-meter line out close to the line by being able to win that line out, and they were able to come back.
All right, we have that penalty on Duplessis. I ask you how come?
So you'll see as they come round, Duplessis comes in right there. No attempt to rat, just hips with the shoulder. Again, putting your head in front, which is also dangerous for the tackler.
Great call by the official. Here's Logan Daniels.
Time back on, guys. Time back on.
Gaffney stole the last one, took Jensen away. Let's see if they go back to them.
And they...
Moore's over, inside the 5.
Here's this Maul.
Moore's move forward.
Boy, it is really moving here as they try and gain the territory. Trying to get all the way down toward the 5-meter line and toward the try line. Look at that Maul, and in for the try, their first of the game, Utah. That was impressive.
That's really, really impressive. It came from the decision to throw to Lance Williams. They've been hitting Jensen in the middle. What the Legion did is they took away Jensen, so they went to Williams at the front, and you can see they set it up, and they always created separation. So that's McClellan at the back, and they always kept a couple of players. Like, we can't see the ball here in this shot. That means that San Diego can't get their hands on the ball. Still, you can't see the ball because it's McClellan at the back. You can see him right there.
His belly.
All the way at the belly. And all he has to do at the end is he gets over the line and puts it down. That's a really well-worked line out Moore. And disappointing for the Legion to give up early points in this half and give Utah some sense that they can get back into this game.
Yep, first try of the game coming past 44 minutes. And that makes it 18-8. And so now trying to convert will be Tim O'Malley.
So easy, relatively easy kick here, I think, for him.
In a light little sprinkle with the wind blowing right in his face. O'Malley taking a long time to think about this one. And is able to put it over. He converts, making it an 8-point game at 18-10.
So we'll talk, I think as we go through this half, we'll talk more and more about the discipline of the Legion. That was the penalty by Duplessis that really gave up that try. And so I don't know that Utah have really demonstrated the ability to beat the Legion in general play. The Legion just need to keep their discipline.
Peterson with a kick. Fielded right inside the 22 line.
Play on.
And Utah comes away with it.
Tackle roll!
Another whistle.
And I'm shaking my head here because we just talked about discipline. The only thing that the Utah are going to do from a ruck right there is kick it back to the Legion. And instead, Dean Muir comes in, tries to put his hands on the ball, and he gets penalized. This gives Reeves a chance to clear their lines, get into the Legion half and play. The Legion just need to calm down, cut out these penalties, and make Utah work for their territory.
And they gained some territory there with that touch kick. They'll have it just inside the halfway line on the Legion side of the field here as they try and mount an epic comeback. It was 18-3 at the half. Now a quick try and a conversion, and it's 18-10. And we're only 6 minutes, not even 6.5 minutes into the second half, so plenty of time still to go. That's Ara Elkington.
Tackle roll!
And a tackle by
No, it's fine. He's trapped,
Duplessis.
man. Play on.
And Luciano throwing it right. Grab by Whippy.
No, 8, no.
Whippy near the 10-meter line. First catch, Reeves. Into the hands of Vandenberg, who's had a few touches here in the game.
Great line speed here by the Legion, really forcing Utah to work. But again, no penalties, just have the patience.
That was Gannon Moore right there. He's from the United States, one of the reserves that's in now for Utah.
Great tackle by old Lou Stanfill, the lock on the center, and it's going to lead to a turnover. Amazing play by the old veteran.
And so here come the Legion as Boyer gets it out to the far left side. This is Augsburger, who's tracking now to be perhaps the man of the match here when it's all said and done. He's played exceptionally well here in the early going, and now they'll maybe move it to the center of the field, try and get it right, and turnover and a foul.
Just a knock on there.
Standing there.
Knock on.
It's going to be a loss forward. Turnover was good. Scrum.
Stacy, you're down on the field there at the conditions. What say you?
Yes, Steve. Well, you mentioned it earlier. This rain's not nearly as bad as what it was. Oh, my goodness. I think the sun's even starting to come out. The rain was not this bad, or today is not as bad as it was when the Legion hosted Seattle and was able to win that in the closing moments. But this field has seen a lot of water. That's why both benches are in the end zone area, rather on the sidelines, just because the water would get so deep over there and it's very muddy and slick. So just like Rob Hoadley told us going into halftime, they need to make adjustments, and right now they better keep the penalties even lower.
Thank you, Stacy. I love that try a couple of weeks ago by Mikey Teo, where he just, dove for the try line and then basically slid all the way into the grandstands or into that wall over there. Here come the Legion. Peterson has it, whips it out to the far sideline. Mattias, and Peterson got it back, and a whistle.
Well, you can see these outside backs of the Legion are really being able to open up. It's really, really interesting, but you can see the scrum right here. Great drive. Gaffney takes it up. Beautiful play, and you can see the handling. It's all about giving Peterson the ball in space. Mattias hasn't seen a lot of the ball, was trying to get it back inside to Mikey Teo. Lots of opportunity there when they're able to move it wide.
That's what I want to see.
And I think that if we go back to something that Stacey said earlier when she said this is the most competitive league in the world and that 18-3 isn't enough, we're seeing that here, but a score right now, some pressure by San Diego and a score will make it a long second half for Utah.
Luciano with a put-in.
Oh, the referee's saying that Paddy Ryan went straight down.
Straight down.
Number 3, he did not agree with it. So we're going to have a great view of this battle over here with Ryan and Vandenberg. And, I don't know about that. I mean, I thought maybe Franco Vandenberg didn't accept that hit. I can see why Paddy Ryan would be a little bit upset. But as you said earlier, Steve, too many resets. The referee's got to start calling something.
And so Reeves will kick it away. Touch kick, and they'll get a little bit of territory here as they move toward the halfway line.
Bit of a chess match going on in these lineouts here. So Matt Jensen for Utah, the main jumper, Gaffney, the main defender, and Utah have gone short. They've dropped a couple of forwards because that makes it a little bit easier to win the lineout. Daniels
in, and is that Jensen who had it? Oh, they turned it over. No, it looked like it was Cullen. And here's Tao to the outside. Augsburger.
It's advantage over now.
Outside the 10-meter line. And there is Pifoletti. Came in as a reserve in the first half there for Terori when he came out. Got a little bit banged up.
Advantage around the neck, number 2.
And Peterson just pops it up in the air. And it's knocked away, punched out of there by Mattias. And a grab there by Short inside the 22. Here they go to work.
Timing was good.
And Stanfill.
No effect.
Stanfill's tackle out to Peterson. Moving left. Augsburger on the left side, cutting back, and is tackled and brought down. And it's grabbed out of there and moved forward by Drew Gaffney. Boy, he's a tough guy. And ahead to Paddy Ryan. Paddy Ryan trying to fight his way for the try line, being pushed. And they're right there at that line. Let's see now, can they get it across? Stanfill almost there. Outside Peterson, Teo, and he turns it over. Big opportunity here for Utah. The interception there. Vanacolo, and they're going to be able to run him down. Finally tackle him, but good field position now here for Utah.
Well, disappointing right there, but opportunity here for Utah.
Ball is out, whistle.
All the hard work that you do to get down close to the line. What you don't want to do near the line is you don't want to move the ball wide because there's too many defenders, and you can see Mikey Teo and Vanacolo using his experience, two-time World Cup player. But I just want to point out Devon Short, who's a forward, the flanker, pulling down an international wing. I talked with Devon Short a little bit earlier today, and he said he still has some desire to play sevens, and you can see the 7-speed that he has.
Yeah, without question.
Whippy right here, Loudy's going to be really disappointed there. He loves a try-scoring moment, and that's what that was. But really disappointing for the Legion. They did everything right, but Steve, we say that last meter to get over the line is the hardest one. Probably just not enough patience by the Legion forward to try and get it over the line. Moved it wide a little bit early, and Devon Short right there just feeling that long sprint
yes.
that he had. Says, I need a bit of a rest. He's only 20, but he did need a little bit of a rest, but he's going to be a stud.
Let's watch Devon Short catching him again from behind.
Yeah, so you can see, you know, a 7 doesn't normally run down an 11, but you can see he has the step on Vanacolo, and he's able to come in and make that hit. Great offload by Vanacolo. Luciano, great follow-up work, and Whippy wasn't able to get that away. Still under pressure by the Legion in this weather. You want to be playing in your opposition 22. Look for Utah to put some pressure in the scrum, and then really to get a strong defensive launch.
Utah has the only points of this second half as we've moved past 52 minutes.
Stand up. No, don't touch him.
To be fair to the Legion, this has been a little bit of the story of their season. They've been playing really well, but this odd mistake allows the other team to stay in. And so when we thought it was 18-3 and we thought this was going to be an easy win, they just made those key errors that really caused the opposition to stay close.
Crouch.
Boyer.
Binds.
Ready to put it in.
Set!
And here we go. Boyer takes it and then offloads it back, and it's kicked away by Peterson, trying to get a touch kick there to gain some field position.
Beautiful kick.
Fantastic kick there, mate.
And not just a beautiful kick, but you saw Nate Osberger and JP Duplessis come up for the quick line out, and they still threw it quick.
Yep, Utah getting it back in.
Stay there.
And here comes Utah on the attack. Vandenberg's a big fella, man. And here's Reeves, the fly half.
I'm happy with it.
Reeves then gets rid of it to Vanacolo.
Stay there.
Ball is out, and a whistle.
So great pressure there, and that's what the Legion need to do, is they really need to just stay calm and put pressure.
Let's talk to Stacy about that last turnover by Mikey Teo.
Cares as much about this team as Mikey Teo, man. Steve, he is so... I can see right now, just watching his body language, I've seen some of his facial expressions. He's still thinking about that because he knows how close they were, and for him to throw it away, he's still beating himself up about it, but he knows he also has to let it go right now because there's a lot of game to be played. And Pete, let me ask you, since you coached at such a high level, when you have a player with that type of attitude who's just always playing at a top speed, wants to win, pushing hard, how much of that is you look too far ahead and you don't complete that play?
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, in that play, I think that choice is Nick Boyer and Joe Peterson. They decided to move it wide. They put Mikey in a tough spot. But I think that he's just coming back, and he's obviously trying to make a difference, and he probably tried to do something a little bit too much. Probably better under that pressure just to hold on to the ball. And he probably wanted a little help from Mattias on the outside, telling him to hold on to it. So one of the great things, Steve and Stacey, about rugby is that it's never an individual's fault. There's always a collective responsibility whenever there's a mistake made.
Another restart.
There we go. There's this battle between Paddy Ryan and look at that. Paddy Ryan having a couple of words with Franco there. And what the referee said was that Franco's shoulder went down and he went down.
Yep, and they've been having that battle all afternoon.
And it's interesting because what Franco's saying is he grabbed my arm and he pulled it down. So great battle there. We see that a little bit with Paddy Ryan. He's a very fiery character, and he will get in your face and tell you what's going on. I think that penalty will give him some great strength.
Number 7.
Peterson with a kick. Talked about 50 caps for Super Rugby's Stormers for him. Played professionally in 4 countries from South Africa. And we've got Sam Wuching, who has 4 caps with the USA Eagles and played football for the University of Washington as a linebacker and a fullback, comes in now.
That's right, and such an exciting player for the US. He's been a fast-tracked, and it was interesting to see he didn't come in earlier when they lost Jury, but they brought in Pifoletti. So it looks like Pifoletti came off and not Devon Short that came in. And I wonder if that's a fitness issue for Sam Wuching. He's coming back from injury. He may only have 25 minutes in him.
Stay where you are. Come in, Red.
Actually, looks like Dean Muir came off and Pifoletti has come in at hooker.
So Muir, and of course, when you make those substitutions, right, that's it. We won't see Muir again. On the run, here comes Utah, and a great tackle by Augsburg, and I think he's going to get possession here for the Legion. Ball is out, and another whistle.
We're going to go back.
Wow, so the referee was playing advantage. This is the great thing. The referee says, hey, the Legion knocked it on, so let's see if there's an advantage for Utah because of the great hit by Osberger. He says there was no advantage from the knock-on by the Legion, so we come all the way back on the other side of the pitch and let Utah have the scrum.
I'll have a chat to him, but I need to see your elbow up. Perfect. Yeah? Just guys, keep it up. Work hard for me, elbow up.
So you can see Vandenberg and Logan having that discussion.
Thanks, mate. Nice big bind, yeah?
A new front row now for the Legion. 2 go off. Off is Muir. Yep, and Sam Wuching, as we had mentioned, is on now officially.
So Pifoletti is a young player, but played in England, played age grade in England, missed his first line out. That's what he'll be disappointed in as a hooker, and we'll see see if he's able to add something here in the scrum. Dean Muir, tremendous player from South Africa. Pifoletti's the young, exciting opportunity. So we'll see. So we said look at the hips. Here we want to look at the elbows. So the referee's saying you can see both players trying to keep their elbows up, and it's on the other side that it went down. So the referee's smart. Now he comes to the other side. So now Paddy Ryan and Franco Vandenberg know the referee isn't on their side. They can try some tricks. This is the challenge that they have.
Their extracurricular activity.
Paddy Ryan's got great position here. That's why it's moving across. That's one of those things where Paddy Ryan said, hey, I beat Vandenberg there. And now because he wasn't able to stay square and he turned, we moved, and then you call a free kick.
Yep, Reeves with that free kick. And it's going to be fielded by Teo, Mikey Teo. Will he kick it back?
Keep coming out.
Kicks it straight up in the air. Kick chasers, who's coming after it.
Keep working.
And it's going to be fielded there by Luciano.
Stay there.
Utah. Good tackle by Duplessis.
Really good line speed by San Diego, really forcing Utah back even though they're on attack.
They're unable to move it forward. You're right there. That's going to bounce a couple of times. Peterson's going to take it and then kick it from his own 10-meter line.
What a kick.
That is outstanding.
So, this is what Peterson does. So that was Josh Reeve on the kick. As the kick chase happened, he left some space, and Peterson's kick was low enough that he didn't allow Josh Reeve to come across. It landed inbounds, which is what it has to do to gain territory, skid it out, and now Utah have to defend their line out that they've struggled in today inside their own 22.
So we've got a break just after 60 minutes, so there will be 20 minutes of game time when we come back here. San Diego hanging on to an 8-point lead over Utah. I mean, Peter, is there any chance that guy doesn't have season tickets for the Legion?
Well, if he didn't have season tickets, he spent a lot of money on an outfit.
I want to see him and Patty together at Bennigan's afterwards.
Yeah, that's
throwing some back, talking about some stories of the glory days.
So here we go. Here's the Legion with all of their jumpers. Again, Utah goes short, makes it more difficult for the Legion to defend the jumpers.
Up to make the catch there was Lance Williams. And stopped right at the 5-meter line.
Stay there.
Kicked out of the try zone, headed toward us and across the touchline.
So great attacking platform here. This is where the Legion need to show a lot of patience. Just stay inside Utah's half with the ball, hold on to the ball, without the ball. Don't give away penalties. You can just wear down this Utah team.
Aaron Mitchell is on now. Patty Ryan is done for the day. So now a whole new front row here for the San Diego Legion. And Faka Paletti is coming in too. Actually, that was Piffoletti. Cap throwing that one in.
Both Piffoletti brothers are on the field, and it's a whole new front row with 20 minutes to go.
And why do you think that's done?
It's just, you get to the point that the number of scrums that you've had has just really worn down the players. And so they've got enough depth with enough athleticism that you put them on, they can still get around the field, especially when the ground's a little wet. But mainly, I think it's the number of scrums that we've had that's really tiring them out.
61st minute, International Rugby Day here at Torero Stadium. Really good crowd braving, just a little bit of a rain, a little bit of drizzle. We started under sunny skies, it was beautiful, mid-50s.
All right, let's go, boys.
So more subs coming in there for Utah. Again, in the forwards, I think we're going to see the benches coming out in the last 20 minutes.
Show me that shoulder.
Huge for Gian Nora Maitonga. He's going to add some real bulk.
Make sure we show that shoulder.
He wears 19.
So it's great when you get to play in the front row with your brother, you get to hug your brother. So the Piffoletti brothers holding on, and so with the hooker and the loose head, he said, hey, get your shoulder out so there's space for the tight head to put his head in.
I love when you say Piffoletti brothers. It sounds like they're either selling furniture or sandwiches in Philadelphia.
Sorry, full arm, flattening out, full arm, straight down.
So interesting, early on in the scrum, he said they went straight down. It's a penalty.
Full arm, sorry.
You know, so lots of new forwards coming in here, and you can see when the scrum happens, what he's saying is that the San Diego loose head, tight head Aaron Mitchell, basically when he got the hit, he went straight to ground. I think the ground's going to be tough here, but we talked about penalties being a problem for San Diego, and this gives Utah a great attacking platform inside San Diego's half.
That was Mitchell that you talked about at the tight head prop coming in for Patty Ryan, who left after about 60 minutes of rugby today. Won't finish the final 20.
Red 4.
Utah now.
So I think that Lou Stanfield, who's played every minute, you can see Lou's pretty mad he's coming out. He's like, really? Come on. So, but Lou's...
Are we good to go with subs?
Cy Mahoney will come on for him. 2 caps as a USA Eagle.
So full up. Full up.
And what are
we doing?
Saying right now?
Yeah, so they're saying, was it a free kick or was it a penalty? And he's saying it's a penalty.
Let's go then.
So there's the sub. So it's one eagle for another eagle, but the 53 caps that Lou Stanfield has, and I think some of that might be a little bit about he's already played every minute of every game for the first 3 games. At 33, he won't be able to do that for the whole season.
Stanfield was a collegiate national champ 04 through 2008. He's off now, and on for him is Cy Mahoney.
No, we're Stan. Playing advantage, yes.
Utah has it down 8, and ball pops out.
Another penalty
19 red
right here. and that was Mahoney. He's just saying, hey, you've got to, he says, off your feet. So when you come into the ruck, you can't put your hands down to balance you as a defender, because they're going to say, then you've lost your feet. You've got to stay on your feet. Interesting choice here.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Well, I mean, if I was them, I mean, the wind's dying down, I would take the 3 points here, so within a try. But what they're saying is, hey, we've got the upper hand, so Josh Reeves is going to kick to the corner. And they've had success with their shortened line-out, and that's what they're going to do. If you remember the last line-out here, Steve, great line-out drive that ended up with McLennan scoring that try, so they're going to try that again.
And we've got a couple of more Utah players coming on. So looks like Lance Williams and Luciano are going to leave. Yeah, so Luciano is out, so they'll be done for the afternoon.
It's Joe Nichols coming in at scrum half, the former Zimbabwean U20 player. They've set a nice line out here again, a nice line out drive. It's going to take a lot of effort here, but good drive here by San Diego, getting that out.
Great job on the defensive end there. O'Malley was tackled. And Nichols. And how about that for the Legion?
Well, this is where subs come in, and I think the, but I think it was actually Nasagenge that was able to come in, put his hands on the ball. So when a tackle happens, you've got to come from your own side, and I think Nasagenge is able to get his hands in, able to hold on to the ball. Maybe that's, I think that was probably Wuching actually. Looked like it was Wuching that was able to get his hands on the ball, and the referee said, once the defender has their hands on the ball, you've got to release. It looks like Wuching and Nick Boyer both coming in and getting their hands on the ball, but staying on their feet, and that gave the Legion a chance to clear their lines.
Almost like a tie-up in basketball, right?
Exactly, almost like a tie-up in basketball. And the Legion also going to a shorter line-out, giving Pifalati a little bit of an easier chance. So look for the forwards outside. Wuching inside Joe Peterson here is going to be an interesting option.
And Pifalati threw it in, and able to grab it there was Mahoney.
Let him go and roll.
Mahoney is tackled down to the ground. And on the attack, here come the Legion. That was nearly ripped away right there from Devin Short. Short has a try in the first half. No points in this second half here yet for the Legion. That's a high kick, but a short one. Takes a bounce back into Utah territory, and here they come on the attack.
Pretty good kick chase there by San Diego, but not a great kick by Joe Peterson.
And you saw Wuching make the tackle there. Played at the University of Washington for that football program. Here they come to the outside. O'Malley taken down. Nichols offloads it.
Stay there.
And here they go to the outside. It'll run by Ara Elkington. His progress stopped. And that ball onto the turf there, dropped by Matt Jensen. And here comes the Legion. Big hit taken there by Drew Gaffney. He's a tough guy though, man. Taking his fair share of kicks, or hits all afternoon. Speaking of kicks, Peterson tries to drop it in near the 5-meter line.
Man, just great vision. So one of the hardest things to happen when there's a turnover is for your wings and fullbacks to rotate. So Lowry was all the way up because he thought it was an attack. But because they lost the ball was turned over. Lowry didn't retreat. Peterson saw it, and it was such a good kick that Lowry had to catch it and take it out of bounds. This is where the game can be put away by the Legion. If they can get this line out and they can drive it in, but they've struggled to have clean lineouts ever since they've brought Muir on and had Pifaleti throw.
Yep, Pifaleti. Who will he target? Probably Gaffney. And no, they'll get it in instead to Mahoney. And here they come on the maul, trying to drive it into the 5-meter line.
Advantage here for the Legion, so they can really try stuff.
Number 3 in the side.
So interesting choice here. Interesting choice about what they can do in terms of the kick to touch or the penalty. They're going to kick to touch and go for another line out.
And so Peterson just kicks it right directly into the stands for another line out. Let's check in with Stacy.
Steve, you mentioned that Sam Wuching was a standout at Washington. Like many serious athletes, the next step is to go pro. Well, there were a lot of NFL teams that wanted him specifically. He, though, had his heart in rugby. So the San Diego faithful are certainly happy that he chose rugby over the NFL. People thought he was crazy at first, but hey, he's still playing professionally in the U.S.
And he just grabbed that one there, and here comes the maul where they get to the try line. Utah doing everything they can to keep the Legion from getting a try here.
That's fine.
And it looks like it was recovered there by Boyer.
All the way, all the way.
So before they moved it wide, now they need a little bit of patience. Use their forwards, come to the near side, and then go to the blind side. See if you can get this into Nate Osberger's hands with a little bit of space. I think he might be able to do something useful.
Boyer trying to take it himself.
Roll away, back. Step back.
They've got it to probably about 4 meters now from the try line. Short.
Ball's available.
And grab, and quickly now down to about 2 meters. Trying to get it in between the post too, and then there is Boyer. Boyer to the left.
They've got a mismatch out wide to the left if they can use it, because they've got Alex Tucci marking Mikey Teo. No, they lost it. He went back in.
Last feet, fellas.
Trying desperately.
Last feet. Work hard,
Wait,
please.
2 meters, and it feels like it's 90 feet here. Short. Trying to pump the feet and move down.
Stay there.
Still nothing there. Picked up now by Mahoney. Mahoney moved back. Boyer flips it out. Peterson's got a chance on the outside. And Peterson cuts back. Still inside the 5 meter line. Short.
No effect, tackle made.
Short is tackled by Matt Jensen. And that ball kicked.
Wow, great defense there by Utah, but just a little bit slow by the Legion. The Legion had the opportunity on the left-hand side a little bit earlier. You want to look for mismatches as you get near the line, and when Alex Tucci was matching up with Mikey Teo, that's when you wanted to move that ball to the left. They just didn't take that opportunity. 10 minutes to go, they're in the right part of the field. No penalties. Make Utah kick this ball away. And Utah, Steve, have to score twice to win this game. So if they can stay down in that end, they'll be in good shape to finish this off.
Kyle Rogers comes on now, one of the reserves, replacing Ryan Mattias, who leaves. So he's done for the afternoon. And 3 more substitutions here for Utah in their own end.
When we see Blake Burdette, the 39-year-old World Cup veteran from the Eagles, called up this week because of a couple of injuries by the Utah. He's certainly got the experience to be able to step out, and a starter on the University of Utah football team. One of these guys that played football and rugby at the same time at university. A real quality athlete. Great to see him out on the pitch.
Mangaloa comes on too, and Alexander Tucci. Time for the Tucci gang.
You guys need to stay up, feet up underneath you, yeah?
Franco Vandenberg goes off. Angus McClellan also departs. I think Logan Daniels is leaving too.
Crouch.
70th
minute. Set.
There we go, swell right by the 5 meter line.
It's a slip. It's a slip and he's going down. We're going to have
Interesting. So generally you can let it play as long as the ball's available. And the referee said, oh, everyone slipped, so he called it. That's an interesting call. That wheel allowed Boyer to put a lot of pressure on Cullum when he was picking the ball up. So good scrum there by the Legion. Just want to make it nice and clean. Remember, we've got new front rows by both teams in here, so that was like the cleanest scrum as soon as Vandenberg and Ryan came off. So a clean scrum there, but opportunity again for the Legion to put some pressure.
Nichols to put in. Again, 9 minutes for the Legion to protect this 8-point advantage here. Well, Utah's got to score a couple of times here in order to escape here at a win.
So great scrum. You can see what it means to the Legion players when their young scrum comes in.
There's too many people around. I understand, but we're not going quickly there.
So the referee is saying so Gaffney goes up and says, hey, isn't that a professional foul? What the referee was saying was that as the Legion went forward, instead of receiving the drive, Utah were using the wheel. You can see as the scrum begins to turn, they weren't letting San Diego drive, and so what they say is Utah weren't driving straight, and that's what the penalty is. And when there's a penalty, you can take it as far back as you want. So even though that penalty was on the 5-meter line, Joe Peterson for the kick has brought it all the way back to the 22 to make the angle is just a little bit easier. And the way he's been kicking, this is this should be relatively easy, and it requires Utah to score 2 tries.
Fellas, on the try line. On the try line.
This should be the knockout punch right here. The third penalty kick for Peterson. He missed one of the conversions. And it's through, and that should just about do it for the Legion here this afternoon.
Well, I think this kickoff is going to be critical. A clean kickoff, you hold on to the ball for a couple of phases, and you let Joe Peterson use his vision and his foot to push Utah back, and that game is done. But you turn the ball over here, and the Legion has had these problems. Utah's on the front foot. They can score pretty quickly. They've got some very dynamic players.
We talked about this earlier, but Peterson, the 4th leading scorer in Major League Rugby. 25 points through the first 3 games, and you can add another 3 right there.
Contest good. Step back for me. Step back.
Legion have it now. After 73 minutes. They have an 11-point advantage, which is their second biggest of the game. They led 18-3 at the half as Mahoney gets tackled. That penalty kick right there, the first and only points of the second half by the Legion. And there is Joshua Anderson with a run.
Strong kick chase, but opportunity here for Utah.
O'Malley, and they get it out on the right wing. And bottling it was Elkington.
Great tackle by Teo, taking it out. No need to go quick here for the Legion. What we say is you want a short 6 minutes. What that means is you walk to the line out, you walk to the scrum, you don't want the ball in play. And it looks like Devin Short is down. He's put in a huge amount of work today around the field. Young USA star, and just really, really exciting to see him play.
Cramping in that left calf right there is what it appears for Devin Short. There is more rugby coming up next week. Week number 5 for the San Diego Legion. They'll take on a winless Austin Elite side, and that is Friday, February the 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. So this 2 big opportunities. We talked about this in the beginning because Utah had only played once, while everyone else has played 2, 3, coming up on a 4th time. So we felt like San Diego had the advantage here today, and think they'll have it next week. But it will be their first road game of the year.
Absolutely, and I think it'll be great to see them get on the road, go down to Austin. Austin, even though they haven't won, they've actually been very close, very competitive league. I think Rob Hoadley is going to be pretty happy in periods of this game, but he's going to want more consistency. Oh, interesting here, they're trying to spend as much time as they can. They're trying to keep it short.
Yeah, and the rain now really starting to come down. It's almost like coming down the way it was 2 weeks ago when Seattle was here, the defending champs, and the Legion were able to beat them.
Well, disappointing after all that time in the line out. They missed the call.
Utah have it. And that is John Cullen moving forward. Cullen got tackled. Aaron Mitchell, who came on not too long ago. Mitchell came on for the vice captain, Patty Ryan, here in the second half. 75th minute here. So about 5 minutes to go here in this match. Legion protecting an 11-point advantage, and free on the outside, a run by Lauti. And a turnover to the Legion.
So the ball was in touch, so he said the turnover was good, but there was a foot in touch. And we'll see Whippy trying to go quickly here because he knows time is running out. Loudy out there, one of the few times Utah have been able to get the ball into his hands. I think that there'll be a lot of learning that Alf Daniels and the coaching staff will Utah have for this game. I think they'll take a lot out of it. They'll say, you know, we were competitive for large moments of it. We still, I think there's a lot of work they need to have on their attacking structures to break down a defense as strong as the Legion.
We opened the broadcast. You said, I don't really know too much about Utah. We don't know anything much about them. What have you learned about them and the side that you've seen them put out here today?
Well, I think they've showed a lot of discipline, and they've actually showed some really good defensive structure, but the attack still needs a lot of work. Josh Whippy is obviously a little rusty. He's a very, very big player for them. So finding ways to be able to get Lippy and Loudy some ball in space is going to be important.
Well, they get to Reeves there.
No, 12, no!
Utah, can they mount one last comeback here in the final 4 minutes? They might not even have 4 minutes left of this game.
Well, remember, if they lose by less than 7 points, they get a bonus point. So for them, even if they aren't going to win, if they can get a score, then they can actually get that bonus point. And bonus points last year were really critical in terms of the end standings.
Clear release.
And an 11-point win for San Diego. What would that mean in the standings? Is they're comfortably in second place now, chasing NOLA.
Yeah, I think they are. Now the rain's really beginning to come down, and a little bit of disappointing back chat there. So one of the things in rugby is if you talk back to the referee, I think someone complained about Nick Boyer being penalized. He wasn't released, and then they were able to and someone spoke back to the referee, said, let's go 10 meters. But I think these points are going to be really, really important for San Diego as they go away. So points towards the playoffs. So for San Diego, they're not going to get the bonus point. They'll get the 4 points for the win, but they won't get the 4 tries. But for Utah, they still have an opportunity to get that losing bonus point by getting within 7 points.
Play an advantage.
Just 2 tries today for San Diego, both coming in the first half, and you can really see the rain now. We're getting close to the end of the match here.
And I think this last 5 minutes is going to be really disappointing to Rob Hoadley. They've just given away a series of penalties, and they've now put Utah in a position to get that bonus point at the end of the game, which may come back to bite them. You never know what the playoff standings are going to be like. There's a long season. We'll go all the way till June.
Offside. Shot.
Interesting, they're having a discussion. So you can hear the forwards say, we want the scrum, we want the scrum. And they said, no, we're going to go with the line out. Of course, what we have is we have a new front row, and we've got Blake Burdette and new hooker. New hookers need that timing. I hope they're going to be very simple and go to the front and let Blake be able to complete that line-out throw.
Yep, here's Blake Burdette, who you coached, right?
Absolutely, he's a great player. Right to the front, good on him, made that throw.
Yep, gets it right into John Cullen. Time running out for Utah.
Backwards.
Ball is out. Got to reset here. Get it into the hands of Jensen. Jensen trying to move forward before he's tackled. Reeves offloads it, and another whistle.
So we're coming close to the last play here. I think the Legion's defense has been one of their outstanding features today. They've really been able to put a lot of pressure on Utah's attack. Utah have really struggled, except when the Legion have given away penalties. So the only try, remember, Steve, has been from a penalty that was given away by Duplessis on that no wrap of the hit that led to a line out that led to a drive in. But outside of that, the Legion's defense has been really excellent.
Yep, just gave up that penalty kick to O'Malley when it was 10-0 in the first half. We're at full time now.
So in rugby, even though you get to the 80 minutes, the last play has to go. So we could go a couple more minutes if the ball stays in play. But I think the Legion, if they're smart, will just be able to kick it out.
Get it and kick it out, right? And that one is booted out of bounds there by Nick Boyer, and that will do it. The Legion score 18 points in the first half. They get a penalty kick that is good in the second half, and they're able to weather a couple of storms. The weather out there and the comeback try by the Utah Warriors. 21-10 the final. The Legion now 3-1.
You always get it for the merchandise desk.
The home side coming out strong today, 21 points to 10. And the Legion closing out an all-important.
Full time here in San Diego at Toreros Stadium, and the San Diego Legion are now 3-1 after winning 21-10. Time for our man of the match, brought to you by Lux Travel Management, your single source for corporate and leisure travel anywhere in the world, and it was Devin Short.
Well, I thought Devin Short, he's a real young rising star, USU 20 player, finished off the try on the outside, but it was his work rate around the pitch that I really thought was impressive. That's what I spoke to him earlier in the game, and he said, I need to have a higher work rate, and look at this, chasing down two-time World Cup wing Vanaccolo, comes in, prevents the try. Yep. That could have been a turning point of the game. Just a really, really phenomenal performance by Devin Short.
And Stacey Pates is with Devin right now. Stacey?
Such a big day for Devin Short. First of all, he coached the high school boys in the division finals, and his team only lost by 1, so that got you kind of prepped for this game.
Yes, sir. It was great watching the boys, being able to be out here before, cheering on my boys, seeing them do good, seeing them play, hearts out, being able to be in the final for one of the first times, and it's really cool, especially it being my first coaching. Love the boys, yeah.
And they love you back. I know it's fun to play for you, just observing you during that game before this one started. Let's talk about this game a little bit. You kind of did everything. You scored the first try. Defensively, you were strong. Talk about what other things did this win suffice for you guys?
This win sufficed for us. We were out here, knew that Utah was bringing a good side. Knew that we had to nut up on defense because they have big runners, big guys on the outside, big guys on the inside. So we just took that hit on the nose and did what we could, and then just knew that we could play to the outside, and it was great. Yeah.
Defending home field, crucial, especially in this Major League Rugby season. The competition is so strong. Getting this before you go on the road, what does that mean for you guys?
Oh, it means everything for us. Knowing New York came, they brought a strong side, kind of underestimated them, so no more losses at home. We're out here, we're going to defend our home for San Diego, and we're just going to keep doing what we do. You know?
And the sun's coming out for you. That's pretty good for a win.
Started and rained down a little bit, and then sun comes out as soon as we end for the teams. So.
Well, maybe that's a precursor for the rest of the season. Devin, thank you so much. Our man of the match.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Stacy and Devin, thank you very much. 18 first-half points holding up for the San Diego Legion. They got out to an 18-3 lead, hang on to win it 21-10. 2 tries in the game of Duplessis and Short. Adam, 3 penalty kicks by Peterson. And the San Diego Legion are headed to Austin, Texas with a record of 3-1. For my partner, Pete Steinberg, and Stacy Pates, our sideline reporter braving the elements out there in San Diego, and our entire crew, I'm Steve Quiss. Thanking you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Good afternoon from San Diego, California.
One monitor working.
The San Diego Legion defeat the Utah Warriors 21-10 to get. Yep. The San Diego Legion are 3-1 after they defeat the Utah Warriors, ending a 4-game homestand. The final score, 21-10, the Legion over the Warriors. No worries, and then we get to highlights. The San Diego Legion improved to 3-1 on the season as they beat the Utah Warriors 21-10. The next stop will be Austin as we check out the highlights.
And the return of the U.S. Eagles, Mikey Teo and Nate Osberg, opens up for space for JP Duplessis to open the scoring. And it was after the first 20 minutes, it was a lot of the Legion. Peterson makes the kick. O'Malley returns for Utah, turning some pressure into some points. But Peterson again, coming into the second half, was able to put it away, and it was really the Eagles like Nate Osberger, you can see here, using his great footwork, creating breaks all over the place, and whenever the Legion were able to get their outside backs into space, they were able to do good things. So Duplessis was able to get the go forward, Boyer moves it, and again, ball goes outside, Peterson draws the last player, and man of the match, Devin Short scores in the corner. 18-3 at halftime, but then back come the Utah Warriors early in the second half with a line-out maul, with McClellan scoring it, closing that to 18-10, and for much of the game, it was actually back and forth. The Legion making some mistakes, keeping Utah in it, but it was the kick of O'Malley to get it to 18-10, and then finally the play, oh, damn it, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Play of the match.
Play of the match.
Devin Short.
Devin Short.
He could go all the way. Oh, no worries. Okay.
Really? Okay. Got it.
How do we? Oh.
Yep. What we don't really care about is O'Malley's conversion of their penalty, of their try, because it's just a long, yeah. There's just a long amount. There's a long amount of celebration, and then they, okay.
And then how do we end it? Like, what do we just?
So I'll let you do the play of the match with Devon Short running down Vanacola. Is that all right?
Yeah. Do
you want to do another one?
No, that's fine.
You want to do Vanacola? Yeah.
No, I'll let you go. I'm just trying to figure out how to end, and then do I say anything special on the goodbye or something, or?
Is there a score at the end?
Yeah, we'll put the score back up at the end.
Okay.
Doug, you're going through your bits, and you're going to take out the conversion, the O'Malley conversion for Utah. Not the penalty one, the conversion. That one. Yeah, that's gone, right?
No, that's the I think that was the penalty. Okay, all right.
I'm watching go. Yes. Keep going. Yep, Oxford. Then Devon scores.
That's the conversion.
Yeah, that's the conversion.
That needs to come out.
That's gone.
Okay.
Time's gone.
Yep. And then that's the turnover. So I'll just lay out once we go back to Boyer.
Okay.
And you can say Legion pressured in the second half, weren't able to score, and play of the match on the turnover.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
What time is your flight?
6:15.
6:15. Oh, you got plenty of time.
Yeah, it's just my dad.
Oh, yeah. I knew my sister would be calling me out after a while. She's like, it's not on Facebook. Why can't I find it on Facebook? I don't know.
Because she probably lives in America. She can find it on
Oh,
Facebook.
That's true. All right.
Let's try it again.
San Diego Legion improved to 3-1 on the season as they beat the Utah Warriors 21-10, ending a very productive four-game homestand to open up the 2019 season. We check out the highlights, and it was all Legion in the early going.
It was the Legion. Might just leave Steve to call it and go and catch my flight.
San Diego Legion win 21-10 to improve to 3-1 on the season. They beat the Utah Warriors, a very productive four-game homestand. And let's check out the highlights from this win over Utah.
Well, it was all about the return of the Eagles. Osberger and Mikey Teo opening it up with Gaffney for Duplessis to score. They struggled in the first 20 minutes, but then were really able to put the pressure on. The great kicking of Joe Peterson really allowed them to stretch the lead. But Utah had some pressure, and they were able to turn some of that pressure into the points. So it was 3 points by O'Malley. But Peterson responded, leading to an 18-3 halftime lead. And the Eagles, the returning Eagles from injury, like Nate Osberger, really showing some highlights whenever they got the ball in space. And again, the ball comes wide, Duplessis comes forward, and it ends up with man of the match, Devon Short, scoring in the corner at the end of the half to really put away and to make that 18-3 halftime lead. But a great response early in the second half by Utah. A penalty for not wrapping by Duplessis leads to a line out and a great drive, and McClellan scores and is able to close the gap 18-10.
Yeah, and you thought that Short was the man of the match because of the try that he scored. No, it was because he was able to run down this man in Vinacola, and boy, that's hard to do, and preventing a try right there, a try-saving tackle.
And I think that was really the play of the game, because San Diego struggled to really put it away, but they did. Joe Peterson right at the end, able to force it away and finish with the win.
And so now it's off to Austin, Texas for the San Diego Legion as they get the win 21-10 to improve to 3-1 here to start the 2019 season.